Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland review, and welcome to Wasteland Talks, my weekly talk show where I talk about whatever the hell I want. And this has turned into my catch grab for all the other kinds of shows that I've done, including my annual top 10 list with my friend Matt.
Woo.
And we've been doing this for years, except for 2020 when
the world exploded.
And most people didn't watch movies.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think you saw enough movies for us to do the list.
Also, that was when Nolan was like, all right, screw this. I'm not working with you guys anymore. I'm taking my ball and playing and going home.
I'm taking my ball. I'm going to Universal.
Yeah.
So
and that's real, actually.
Yeah, that actually happened. But we are here to do our top 10 of the year 2022. Matt, honorable mentions, go.
All right, let's see. We're going to go with Top Gun. That was a fantastic movie. I saw things in that movie that I had never seen before. Actually, it probably even shouldn't be in an honorable mention. Now I'm looking at it on my piece of paper in front of me, but it's written in ink, so we're going to keep it there. No, that movie was fantastic. It was, I don't know, I guess just like the aerial scenes were, it was almost kind of like, It begged you to question if what was on the screen was real or not, and
it certainly was because Tom Cruise definitely flew.
Yeah, so that is fantastic. Also, like that one scene in the beginning where he's flying over what's that guy's name? The guy's angry in all the movies.
Ed Harris.
Yeah, when he's like flying and you see it in the trailer and it's like, wow, okay, this movie's gonna be fantastic. But in the context of the scene, it's like
blows up the little shack standing there.
Dude, that was easily like. Top 10. If it was like Watch Mojo, that'd be like top 10 like metaphorical middle fingers. Dude,
it would be number one.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Prey was another good movie.
Yeah.
This movie actually even has a version. I didn't see it. I kind of wish I saw that one instead of like the English dub. Apparently, it has. I forget what tribe or what the tribe or community's language.
So it's just them speaking in native language?
Yeah, like for the entire film. So I thought that actually maybe even should have been like the actual release of the movie. I don't know. Yeah.
Disney's like,
yeah,
we need to sell this to more people.
Yeah.
People don't want to watch subtitles.
But dude,
they should talk to Bong Joon-ho.
Also that, very much. Like, dude, that Prey was such a fantastic. It was bloody. It had a lot of heart. It wasn't dumb. The main character wasn't like what is the term? Mary Sue. Mm-hmm. Like it was a great movie all around.
She trained her butt off to be that much of a badass.
Dude, that was who could imagine putting a tomahawk or like an axe on a rope and then swinging it around and making a cool weapon even cooler. I don't know, fantastic. And last is Turning Red. There's a lot of things in that movie that I didn't personally go through, especially not the fantastical things, but I can still empathize with the fact that being 13 is hard and annoying as hell. And
middle school and high school suck.
Yeah, definitely would not want to do that again.
Nope. And
then also like the in movies universe version of Backstreet Boys, whatever the hell that was.
I guess like One Direction or.
Oh yeah, true.
Probably at this point.
Yeah, our favorite reference is like very much not,
is 20 years old.
I was born in 92, guys, so cut me some slack.
I was born in 91, so yeah, that's our perspective.
But no, great great honorable mentions, great movies. How about you?
My 3 honorable mentions, we got Fire of Love. I never thought that I'd care so much about a married couple of volcanologists, but this is one of the most beautifully shot and engaging documentaries I've ever seen. Boy, are you up close and personal to a whole bunch of volcanoes, and they sacrificed their lives to get us this footage. And you also fall in love with their marriage. Like, they're great. I loved watching them. And Miranda July, who did Kajillionaire, that film, she does the voiceover in this, the narration, and she's fantastic too. It is on Disney Plus right now because it's a Nat Geo film.
Gotcha.
So you can watch that for free if you have Disney Plus. My second honorable mention is Wakanda Forever. I loved it. I absolutely loved this film. I walked out of that being like, this is what they needed to do to somehow piece this together after Chadwick Boseman passed away. I thought it was extremely emotional. It's one of the most emotional Marvel films up to this point. I love what they did with Shuri in terms of her arc in this film. I think them introducing Talokan and Namor was fantastic, especially since they can't make his own movies because Universal still has distribution rights. Fun crap like that. So they introduce him. I think he's a fantastic villain, he antagonist.
Yeah,
he's a Marvel villain in this, but he's a great foil to Shuri and because basically Shuri's always been the one that's not been the one who goes by tradition, and I feel like if she went to her extreme, she would be Namor. Mm-hmm. And I think that's such an interesting juxtaposition in this film, and I love the action. I think the whole cast is amazing. So, a lot of interesting things, and my last honorable mention is Marcel Lachelle with shoes on. Mm. Oh my god, my heart melted. My whole body melted sitting in the theater watching this. Got to see a free screening at some random odd theater in an old train depot up in Maine when I was on my honeymoon because I happened to be looking at, what movie theaters are around here? Free screening of Marcel. I'm like, what? So we went on my honeymoon and it was so lovely. Jenny Slate putting up reasons why there should be an Oscar for voice performance. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful film. And it's a profound film. What it talks about in terms of fame and internet fame and everything, which I'm sure Matt will get into a little bit more. So Matt, what's your list?
All right, so we're going to start off with The Northman. I think if I were to take any movie from my actual list and replace it with something on my honorable mention, it would be Prey. But again, the ink is dry. Northman was a fantastic movie because I think some of the camera work, like that one shot where you're just kind of going through a siege or a pillage of a village, I thought that was fantastic.
Berserker Rage.
Yeah, definitely. Also, the what is that scene? The episode 3 Star Wars, is that Mustafar? The fight.
Mustafar.
Yeah. So
I'm sending you to the Mustafar system to take out the leaders of the Separatist Alliance.
Can you say execute Order 66?
Execute Order 66.
Yeah, you gotta say 66 super 66. No.
66.
Extra thick.
Yes, the firefight. Mm-hmm. Volcano fight at the end of this movie, naked, mind you.
Yeah,
it's just
with swords. It's fantastic. Also, there is a Valkyrie with braces. This movie has a lot of chaotic energy. Also, Ethan Hawke getting high on something, and barking like a dog. There's so many odd things, but it's not played for laughs. This is the least humor. It's the humorless movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It's fantastic. It has a lot of energy in it, and yeah, it was good. The only thing I wish about this movie is that it had more siege scenes instead of having the revenge thing take as long as it did. Because I feel like the siege thing was where a lot of energy was, but it's still. It's okay.
I think the unsung hero of this movie is Nicole Kidman, which hurts me to say because of how much I hate her stupid ad at AMC at this point. But oh my god, the thing was avenge you, father, save your mother, kill your Fjolnir, and that whole entire thing is such a false flag for this actual situation, and that is one of the most shocking pieces of this film. And what Nicole Kidman does in this movie is amazing, and I want to be
no, that was fantastic, and probably honestly incredibly culturally accurate. I mean, historically accurate, probably too, but fantastic movie.
Oh, and Robert Eggers knows historically accurate because he is an actual historian, and he puts in so much effort into his films, and this is him getting away from folk horror after two amazing films with The Witch and The Lighthouse to deliver this Nordic epic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I wish it made money. This movie was never gonna make money. Sorry, like I love this goes up there with Blade Runner 2049, where it's just like I'm glad a studio was stupid and greenlit this movie, but like this was a dumb decision. Like making this movie for $90 million and knowing how weird Robert Eggers is. This was never going to make that money back. So I have a feeling we're not going to see anything this big from him ever again. And he's probably going to go back to A24, which, fine by me. I'm glad we got the Northman, though. What's your next one?
All right, next one is Marcel the Shell. I teared up in this movie. Like, this movie, and not even because of, like, the ending. Like, there's certain characters that are so endearing.
Yep.
And you're watching, like, the eyes of, like, you're watching, like, a completely crappy situation through the eyes of a child, and having that perspective just exponentially grow and grow and grow when this living being realizes that what he thought was the entire world is just kind of like just somebody's house, and then he realizes that like the world is like huge and that there's people and personalities and dynamics that he had never heard of, namely how the internet works. It was great. I don't really like watching 60 Minutes, but I guess I don't know. I would watch it if they were interviewing Marcel. But
there you go.
It was fantastic. It was a fantastic movie. I think everybody should watch it. And I think it's kind of like it's a family movie, right?
Yeah. I think the whole family can watch it. It counts as an animated film. And I think Pinocchio might be in some trouble after I found out that Marcel was actually considered an animated film. So that's going to be a 2-horse race for that best animated feature at the Oscars, and I think Marcel could win.
Yeah, definitely that, and Wakanda Forever in terms of like depictions of like funerals and grief and dying, like that. Like those are two. It's hard to watch. Yeah, I guess in a good way, but then also like it's hard to watch. But good movie, very good movie. My next one will be Emily the Criminal. Aubrey Plaza
can do no wrong.
Yeah, she gets in way over her head in a situation that is completely impossible, and she, like, I'll just like a light spoiler. She makes it work by going to the dark side and then fully embracing like the ideas of the people that she's been around. It's almost kind of like
into your anger.
Yeah, and she definitely does. It's like because she by the end of the movie, it's not even just kind of like I'm dabbling in this. Like no, this is like my actual. Like this is how I'm going to like navigate the world. I'm literally. I can't play by the rules. And I thought that was really interesting. It's probably like a lot of commentary on people in like financial situations where it's kind of like why do people have to have like 3 or 4 jobs? Why do people have to sometimes like turn to crime? Why do people have to I don't know, like bend the rules, or like why does victimization happen? Like there's like a lot of interesting stuff that this movie portrays. Also, she's from Jersey in the movie, and actually like kind of like close to us too, or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
Jersey,
yeah, so
represent.
I like that.
Aubrey Plaza had a great year because if the people because it's the actors who vote, right?
I think
So like if more of the actresses out there saw Emily the Criminal, she'd be nominated for an Oscar. She's that great, and also she's killed it on White Lotus too. Like, give her an Emmy.
I need to watch that. I need to watch that.
Ooh, crazy.
Yeah. But no, that was a fantastic movie. All right, so the next one is I'm gonna go with The Black Phone. I wanted so badly to read the short story before him, but I never I couldn't do it. Maybe I'll do it like eventually. The Black Phone is a story about a middle schooler who gets abducted and a smart middle schooler who gets abducted and has to kind of like use his wits and then also the advice of formerly abducted and unfortunately murdered. I guess the whole thing's unfortunate, but like abduction isn't good.
Given unfortunate,
yeah,
just unfortunate implied.
But no, he has to. It's a supernatural kind of thriller. Not kind of, very much a thriller. Ethan Hawke plays the oddest, like weirdest villain to come out of 2022, and then I just saw like a lot of people on the internet were like saying that they kind of were like sexualizing Ethan Hawke because of his body, the dad bod. I'm like, oh my god, like that's not the point of the movie. Reddit, you have
he's
terrible
sexualizing it because he's obviously getting off on what he's doing.
Yeah,
and like that's part of the story. God damn it.
Yeah, Reddit is an interesting place, but in any event, this movie is fantastic. This movie has great tension. The movie doesn't have a character that is stupid, but then also doesn't have a character that's completely unbelievably smart. But it's just good storytelling, and I don't remember who directed it.
Scott Derrickson. He left Multiverse of Madness to do this.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He's like, I can't do this. That you're not letting me do this more horrifying and stuff like that. He wanted to make a real horror movie with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, so he leaves and makes this instead, and it's so impeccably directed. I love the vintage look to it with the cinematography. One of the best uses of a Pink Floyd song ever. Where it's like no when it's building up to like building up to the climax of the film, and you're just like, it's just like that and just like that creepy atmosphere. It fits so perfect with the film. Ethan Hawke is disturbing as hell.
The mask, you knew it was gonna be something odd when you saw like the posters in movie theaters, and it's kind of like,
yeah,
what is up with that mask? It looks like, I don't know if you've ever seen Attack on Titan, but it looked like one of like the Titans, like the mask. It looked terrible, terrifying.
Yep, and this is the guy who made Sinister. So him and Ethan Hawke have made some great horrifying stuff before, and this really works for me too. I really like this movie.
And the short story was written by Stephen King's son.
Yep.
Random fun facts. All right, let's see. Let's go with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Actually, this is the first movie that Lydia and I saw together. It's the person I'm dating, so that was cool. So this movie, it's hard to like
describe.
Yeah, it's hard to describe without like spoiling everything. So I'm just gonna say this movie is a really odd ride, but it is fantastic, and it's not so like self-important or I don't know, like convoluted, because it's not. But it's not one of those movies where it's kind of like, oh, this is like so artsy. I feel like it's keeping me at arm's length. Like instead,
oh no, you're feeling every single second.
Yeah,
of this.
you're going to get like emotional. Actually, more than once, like more than just the ending.
So this is going to be a weird comparison. So just let me make this real quick. Hereditary. 2/3 of that movie's like, this is a horrific family drama that will bleed you emotionally for 2/3 of a movie, and then you're like, I'm done. And then Ari Aster's just like, no, you're not. And then gives you what happens in the third act of that movie. This movie feels like it drains you emotionally from this story about this marriage.
And a mother and daughter.
Well, that's the thing. You think this movie's about this marriage this whole entire movie, and then you're just like, you get to the point where you get a little bit of closure with that, and then it's like, haha, did you forget the daughter? And then it's just like, pow! Second time! And it's just like, and this is all going on while there's martial arts stuff going on, crazy fantasy stuff, multiverse, science fiction, butt plugs, dildos, and all of it. All of it. Hot dog fingers, human rocks, human pinatas.
And like one of the most random, needless and yet thankful to have it references to 2001: A Space Odyssey. So random.
The Daniels, though.
That was great. That was great. But that was a good movie. My next one is Barbarian. The thing that I'll say about this is that the magic of something that is as depraved and wild as this movie is that, please, if you don't know like the twists in this movie, and there are multiple, if you don't know the twists in this movie, please don't seek out these twists.
No.
Please don't watch any spoiler reviews. Please don't talk to anybody about kind of like what's happening, because there are things that the trailer kind of like sells you on, that where it's like, if you've seen any movie, especially if you like horror, if you watch the trailer, you immediately think that you can, like, you know all the beats, and there's something, there's something that happens, and then people have to like deal with it or die, and it is funny, and it's weird, and it's crazy, and it's awesome, and that's like, it would be incomplete. My list would be incomplete without that movie.
This is the most impressive marketing campaign since Endgame.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember that trailer. It was like black and white, right?
The Endgame trailer where it doesn't give away anything. Mm-hmm. Like, it literally only shows things from the first 20 minutes of a 3-hour film, except for them walking up to Thanos, but you have no idea what the context is. Mm-hmm. You don't know when it is, where it is, what it is, and then you see it and you're like, this movie was about time travel? Mm-hmm. And just like all of this. This movie, the trailer is like maybe from 10 minutes of the movie. Mm-hmm. Strung together in a way to make you think you know what this movie's about. And no, it's not. Not at all.
Also, that would have been like a really like nice, like, not a romantic comedy, just like a like, even like if that scene would have been like its own like self-contained story, that would have been like a really awesome story. Just two people figuring out like a mix-up and like falling for each other. I really liked that. Well,
and that's the thing. And the thing is, I've seen movies exactly that, and these 10 minutes were better than those whole movies. Mm-hmm. So, oh man, and all I'm gonna say, because I have to, I can't resist. I have never once laughed so hard at a tape measure in my whole entire life, and I'm just gonna leave you on that. You're going to have to watch the movie, and I can guarantee you will laugh out loud when you see it too.
It's like, come on. Yeah, like the whole theater that I was in was just like everyone collectively rolled their eyes.
I was at a press screening, and everybody laughed hysterically. Oh, man.
No, that was great. That was great. All right, so the next one is going to go to The Woman King. Mm-hmm. The Woman King is about some pretty uncomfortable subject matter, and also this movie, which is rated R, right? It should have been, because there's like a lot of people that die in like a lot of pretty terrible ways. Like, this movie
is a good question.
Yeah, like that. This movie is violent, but really awesome. The acting is fantastic. I think. I forget her name, but the one that's
PG-13.
PG-13. Wow. Okay. Well. Wow.
Thuso Mabidu. Were you going to say the main character?
No. Who was Lashana Lynch? Lashana
Lynch. Badass.
I mean, obviously Viola Davis is like, when people say like Viola Davis is fantastic and everything that she does, that's because like she truly is a master class in acting. But Lashana Lynch is so awesome and funny, and just has like this command on the screen. That's her job, to be like.
Then go watch Matilda the musical and see her as Miss Honey, and just go see a complete different side of her. I was floored watching Matilda, seeing Lashana Lynch in that, after seeing this and just being like, damn, she has range.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. This movie is great, and I think, I mean, there's like some actual like historical things that don't line up exactly with what the movie does and says, but I think that a lot of movies kind of do that, right? The Braveheart did that.
Well, I was about to say,
yeah,
I brought this topic up, and now I'm sitting here like, I love Gladiator and Braveheart, and I feel like I'd be kind of hypocritical giving this movie shit for
For kind
being
of
historically inaccurate.
Yeah, like we're just
and
gonna
cherry picking ideas. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, because apparently these women enabled the slave trade.
Mm-hmm.
And like this movie's a revisionist history of like they try to stop it.
But also like this female, like this all female, I guess like sect of their military power of this African nation. That's where they got the the Dora Milaje? Yeah, from
That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
When you watch this, it's like, oh, okay.
It's like, oh, like damn, that's actually dope as hell. So
they were real.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
All I'm gonna say about like the revisionist history part, this is what you get when you have two middle-aged white women writing the script to this. What's more of a white thing to do than change history?
Yeah, I mean that's that.
Because Naomi Watts wrote this.
Really?
Yeah. Which that's also one of those things where it's just like they wrote this story.
But if you look at it just as like a movie and not kind of like something that like kids should watch in history class, it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, and I feel
so much heart.
It makes me sad. Viola Davis seems to be losing steam and kind of falling out of like the top 5 for Best Actress.
Oh.
From what I looked at recently from Variety, she seems to be falling into like the 6 to 10 range.
Who would be top 5?
I'll look that up when you start talking about who's definitely getting nominated for an Oscar.
Got you. It's funny. I think I would kind of want Viola over this next person, but let's go with Tar to be my number 3. Tar was a fantastic movie. Tar is a long movie. Tar is about a classical composer / I don't know. This person has like their hand like in a lot of different things, and this movie, I remember. I think it was the it's on a podcast, the YouTube channel Breakfast All Day called this movie a post Me Too critique or depiction, and I was like, I wonder what that means. And I'm not going to go into detail because something happens towards the end where it's like, oh, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Oh, got you. Oh, gotcha. Like it's really bad and sad and weird, but Cate Blanchett is one of my favorite actresses. Ever since I saw, I mean, she's been in like so many other things before this, but ever since I saw the movie Blue Jasmine, like I thought that it was wild watching that movie. Like I watch it maybe like every so often, and maybe like top 5 movies that like I revisit, kind of like Pulp Fiction almost, just because I just really like the stuff that she does with kind of mental health and as well as the class kind of like thing. In this movie, she is someone who is on the top of her game, like professionally,
top of the world.
Like she is like one of the like number ones, and it takes a lot to get to be number one. And to keep yourself at number one, and the people that you have to kind of like interact with or step on, or the people that are actually doing a lot of the work to get you there. Like they also have depictions too. There's this really awesome scene where she's teaching a class, and her views are getting challenged by kind of like more modern, more younger like students' views on certain things, and it's interesting to kind of parallel like their friction with probably like real dynamics that you see.
I've had those conversations in real life before.
And it's awkward, and it's like, damn. But
with my wife.
But no, it's great. I think that I saw like an article pop up on my phone that says something like Tar might not be able to get Best Original Score like nominated or something like that, or like a part of it. I don't know. I saw something like that pop up on my phone. I didn't click on it because I had to do something.
You know what's funny? I never once thought about Tar getting nominated for Best Original Score.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of great scores, but one that's on both Matt and I's list. Matt hasn't gotten it to it yet. It didn't get the short list for score, and I'm so pissed off about it. But we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, Cate Blanchett is right now trailing Michelle Yeoh as the favorite for Best Actress this year, and it looks like Viola Davis lost her spot right now to Margot Robbie from Babylon,
which is bad.
Margot Robbie's amazing in that movie.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not even like the movie itself, but just like Viola Davis like losing. Like,
Well, you know whose
to
spot she should have is Michelle Williams from The Fabelmans, because she's not Best Actress. She's not a lead. Category fraud. Michelle Williams should be nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, but they're running her as a lead because I guess they don't want to push Gabriel LaBelle for lead actor.
Why?
Because he's a kid. They do that crap all the time. What's even less sense is that his dad, Paul Dano's up for Best Supporting Actor. If the parents were the leads, why would that be? But anyway, but Todd Field might be nominated for Best Director because he directed the hell out of Tar,
And he wrote the screenplay too.
yeah,
right?
and which this is like 2022's Raging Bull from like that Fall from Grace story. Ooh, and it's a fall. And it 100% makes sense with how this deals with cancel culture and stuff like that in a very poignant way. And that conversation that Matt was alluding to with the young man who's like, I can't listen to this composer because of like
what he stood up for, and she's like, yeah, but like that doesn't really matter. And then, but it does though. Like, you can't gloss over. You shouldn't gloss over that. Actually, maybe sometimes.
Well, and that's a conversation I've had with people a lot. And that's the thing. There's two kinds of people. Those who can look at a piece of art and also acknowledge that the person who made it is a piece of shit. And then others who know they're a piece of shit and can't watch it or look at it or experience their art because of it. And this film deals with that in a really interesting way in that particular scene. But Tar is something else. We got to see that together.
Yeah.
And that was pretty shocking. Alrighty, you got two more.
All right, let's see. Let's go with Honk for Jesus. I think
Save Your Soul.
this movie is. I saw this with Joe actually. This movie is hilarious. This movie is odd. This movie takes its time with what the scandal is, and it's kind of like, oh, okay.
And layers.
This movie is so awesome, and then also. What is the actress's name?
Regina Hall should be getting nominated
go.
for Best Actress.
That would be.
She's that great.
That would be a fantastic, especially like the end when she puts on like the makeup. Like there's so much stuff happening inside of that movie, and then there's so much stuff happening, like inside of my head when I'm watching this movie, because like I've been to like huge churches like that when it's and then you kind of feel like, wait a minute, are we focusing on kind of like I don't like the bombast and like the showmanship, or like I feel like we kind of like are like losing like the actual message, which is like the Lord. I don't know. It is interesting, but Honk for Jesus is fantastic, and the Honk for Jesus, where the title is coming from, is one of the funniest scenes of the year.
Yep,
but
hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. It's
great. The scene where I finally realized what Sterling K. Brown's character did made my skin crawl. That was so uncomfortable. And Sterling K. Brown's amazing in this too. Amazing supporting turn here. But Regina Hall tears the house down.
Oh yeah.
With this movie. I love this movie. And I wish more people saw it. And like it got awkwardly dropped on Peacock and in theaters Labor Day weekend. Which it just came and went. I loved it though. Loved it to pieces.
Yeah.
And ba 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 ba.
The number one for me of the year, literally my like the mats in my car and the whatchamacallit, I guess the like the steering wheel cover is the Batman logo. The Batman came out this year and it was fantastic. I remember I was really, really intrigued, maybe like a couple years or like a year ago or whatever, when set photos were coming out, and like the one photo in particular was of the damn car. And I was like, God. Wow, that's a take. That's not the Tumbler, and in the best way possible. Actually, that car is cooler than the Tumbler.
This was the coolest Batmobile. Shit.
Yeah.
That scene where we see it for the first time is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
This movie works on like a horror movie level at times, and it should. Like, that's the thing. Like, Batman always has this underlying, like, gothic, creepy, haunting kind of feel to it. And Tim Burton knew it. Matt Reeves sees it and showed it here because, like, there's moments where, like, the whole entire thing is he's supposed to intimidate people. And Colin Farrell, who you could barely tell it is him, in those eyes, looks scared shitless. When he kicks... That engine starts like, I'm just like, because I saw this at a press screening, and then this is only one of 2 movies I've watched multiple times this year, because I went to go see with Matt and Joe and Remzi, when you went to go see this.
Oh yeah.
Because that was my second time seeing, because I saw it a week and a half early, and then couldn't talk to anybody about it.
Yeah, that movie. This movie also, I really like the fact that, so it takes that idea of what is truly the mask. Is it your Bruce Wayne persona, or is it you being the Batman, which actually is the mask, or what is like your truest self? I thought that was fantastic, and if you read like a lot of the comics, like you definitely like hear a commentary like that all the time.
And I think this was before he developed the Bruce Wayne mask. Because he's so socially awkward. Because this is like early time Batman.
Like Batman Year One kind of stuff.
Yeah, and he's like this dark, brooding, awkward like Bruce Wayne and stuff like that. And it'll be interesting to see how far they go with this character, to see if we see him develop that Bruce Wayne mask over time.
And I guess like the last thing I'll say about this movie is the fact that when early in the movie, someone says, like, who are you? And he says, I'm vengeance. And then to have that played on its head towards the end of the movie when Batman asks someone doing something terrible, like, what's your end game? Like, who are you? And that person says, I'm vengeance. And then the, I guess the ending voiceover or whatever has him confront the fact that he needs to be, and I guess he, meaning people in general, need to be more than just vengeance and darkness and rage, and like he's still gonna be a vigilante. LOL. He's still gonna like, he's still gonna like operate in the agency that he's like sees fit. But I think that him seeing that, I think, is also awesome, because Batman, aside from the fact that he is like objectively a superhero, like people can't do what Batman does, aside from just like the money aspect, but also he is just a man. He is, and also in this movie, he is firmly a detective. I feel like I was like watching a video
watching like
game.
7.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was like puzzles on top of puzzles on top of puzzles and riddles. A, because, you know, Batman. B, because the literal like villain is the Riddler.
And he's a serial killer. And he's definitely based off of like Zodiac and stuff like that. Oh, this is Matt Reeves is like, I'm gonna make a Fincher film out of Batman, and it works so well.
What was the last movie that Matt Reeves did? Was it the Apes movies?
Yeah. What he did with Planet of the Apes, he's doing for Batman, and it's special. And for me, firmly, this is my favorite Batman movie at this point.
That is fair as hell. Definitely.
And Michael Giacchino did not make the short list.
Really?
This score didn't make the short list for Best Original Score. BS.
This is the best trailer of the year, so that's actually sad. Like,
this
that music.
This march, the march that they have for Batman, is amazing. Just hands down one of the best pieces of music this year, and it didn't make the short list. It makes me so upset. But there's definitely some crossover here a little bit. My number 10 is Tar. I'm not going to add really anything to that because we already really talked about it. But Cate Blanchett, Todd Field, they're definitely looking to win some, get some nominations, maybe some wins at the Oscars. My number 9 is Official Competition, the most Pedro Almodovar film you'll ever see that's not Pedro Almodovar. This focuses on a quirky and very artistically bold director played by Penelope Cruz making this film. and hires two of the best actors in the world, Antonio Banderas' character and Oscar Martinez's character. Antonio Banderas is like the George Clooney kind of actor. Like, he's a big star, makes a ton of money, and Oscar Martinez is like the Daniel Day-Lewis of, like, actors. And they're at conflict with each other the whole entire time because their whole process is different. She's forcing conflict upon them and just stoking the fire between them. And the tension that builds throughout this film and how it portrays the creative process is insane. And I saw this back in end of June, when I was going through Boston on my honeymoon. And this was an amazing ride. And also, Penelope Cruz, hard to take your eyes off of her. Mm-hmm. And I would nominate Antonio Banderas for Best Actor for this. I absolutely love him. And so, official competition, definitely would recommend. I definitely liked my number 8 movie more than you, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Okay. Okay, yeah, tell him.
I was sold on this insane ride of a murder mystery that will definitely subvert your expectations on what a murder mystery is. And this is like Gen Z Clue.
Damn, write that one down. I like that. Don't like the movie, but I like that. I like that.
And
Gen Z Clue.
The group of actors in this, like Amanda Stenberg and Maria Bakalova and the trying to remember all their names, but like
Pete Davidson,
Pete Davidson and Lee Pace. But the young actors that are like this core group of friends are so interesting indictments on a very specific group of people. And it's so fascinating because it's like that culture war and like class warfare kind of thing where it's just like you don't fit in right if you didn't come from the right kind of money. And the young woman who's from Shiva Baby, who I absolutely love, she's so fantastic in her character with the whole podcast thing. You don't know how much work it takes going into making a podcast. It's just like the commentary in this film on this like generation of people and is so fascinating. And the fact that they're stuck in a hurricane in a giant ass mansion and this goes completely sideways is insane. And there's so much mystery about it because like with Maria Bakalova's character, you have no idea who she really is, and that's so interesting. And you don't know what everybody's intentions are, and it slowly gets peeled back, and then the movie completely rips the rug out from under you at the end when you figure out what the hell's really going on. Oh, this was a wild ride. A24 style. And, I loved Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I can tell you didn't. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean the music was really awesome, and I feel like the main character person, not the Borat person, but the other one, like
Amanda Stenberg's character, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. I'm not sure, but I don't know. The acting was really great in the movie, and I think that the deaths in the movie are like pretty creative.
Rachel Sennott, she's the one from Shiva Baby.
Okay,
Chase Sui Wanders, it's Amanda Stenberg.
Gotcha, yeah.
And then Mayala Harold, she was great too. Jordan and Sophie had a lot of tension there because there's a lot going on between them.
Yeah.
from their past.
Yeah.
My number 7 is EO. And this is the Polish nominee for Best International Film. It is a fascinating, voyeuristic look at humanity, the good, the bad, the ugly in modern Europe, all through the eyes of a donkey. The whole movie is about a donkey and seeing how humanity treats this donkey It's shot many times using incredible camera work to make us feel like we are inside the head of this donkey. This donkey gives one of the best performances I've seen all year, and it's just emotionally devastating watching the horrible things that this poor animal's put through this film. And all the way up until like this, and this isn't like a try to feel good, hopeful kind of film. This is like, you all are shitty humans, and what we do to animals and stuff like that, and you're gonna feel shitty at the end of this movie. And it is beautifully shot. It's bold. There's like, some of the filmmaking in this is like Kubrick kind of crazy, and I was really impressed by this film. I had no expectations about this movie, but I started seeing like this was getting a lot of buzz, and luckily I got a screener for it. I'm sitting there watching this like, this little Polish donkey movie has no business being this great, and it was great. This better get, like, I wanted to win Best International Film, but I think Decision to Leave kind of has that nailed down. Also an amazing film from South Korea. But I definitely think this is going to be getting a lot of attention during this award season. My number 6 is The Northman. Nothing really to add except Robert Eggers is one of my favorite directors, and I'm so excited to see his Nosferatu film.
He's doing Nosferatu?
Yes.
Yeah. When is that coming out, next year?
It might be coming out 2024.
He's doing Nosferatu. That sounds crazy. And so weird.
It fits him perfectly.
I wonder if they're gonna do like the rat teeth version of Nosferatu, like with like Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, Nicholas Hoult, and so Bill Skarsgård's going to be Nosferatu.
Okay.
And then Nicholas Hoult and Lily Rose Depp are going to be the Harkers, whichever, I can't remember. Is that the actual Hutter? The Hutter family.
When did the original come out?
1922.
That was a while ago. That's literally older than my grandpa.
And we're lucky that it exists because it was just copyright infringement. Because they just completely ripped off Dracula without having any of the rights. Which is why they just changed all the names. It's just Dracula. And then Werner Herzog made Nosferatu in 1979.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
With Klaus Kinski, of course, as credited as Count Dracula in this. I guess he actually did have rights that time. So, yes, he's going to be coming out with Nosferatu at some point. So that's exciting. My number 5 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is the most unique film I think I've ever watched in my life. There's no bones about it. And I can't wait to see what the Daniels do next. This made me go back and watch Swiss Army Man again.
Swiss Army Man.
Because, I didn't get that the first time I watched it. Yeah. And I watched it this time and I'm like,
I don't know. Yeah, Swiss Army Man.
I get it.
Maybe I should watch it again. But no, this movie is fantastic.
Yeah. My number 4, and this movie hit me personally a lot deeper than I anticipated, was The Fabelmans. This film isn't just about, like, Steven Spielberg growing up. It's about a young man who falls in love with cinema and then starts realizing that his whole entire perspective on the world is seen through the camera lens. There's a really poignant scene in this that really helped me realize how great this film was when something's happening with his family. A big, life-changing experience. It's a big fight. And he's just sitting there disconnected from all of it, imagining himself walking around this argument, filming it. Trying to get the best shots. What would be the best way to get all the drama and emotion out of it? And there's a bunch of scenes with Sammy Fabelman editing videos and stuff like that, and uncovering things that we might not have seen. Or some of the most engaging scenes I've seen in a film this year. And the last scene in this movie might be my favorite ending of any movie this whole entire year. and it has an amazing cameo in it. And it just this is probably going to win Steven Spielberg an Oscar for Best Director. And he would deserve it because this is amazing. And Michelle Williams is amazing. Paul Dano, Judd Hirsch, Seth Rogen. But Gabriel LaBelle, who plays Sammy Fableman as like a teenager, is absolutely fantastic. So I look forward to seeing what he does next. So highly recommend if you haven't checked it out, because I know most of you haven't because nobody saw it.
What was the movie last year that was like that? The Duel?
Oh, The Last Duel?
Yeah.
That was an amazing movie.
I liked it as well.
And you all showed up for House of Gucci. But what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
God. It's not... I'm only half kidding thinking that he should be Super Mario. He definitely has the accent down. Sound just like him. But playing a cartoon character in a live action... Like, he felt like a cartoon. Lady Gaga felt like a cartoon. And then the whole rest of the movie did not feel like a cartoon. And it's just like, You
guys know what movie you're in, right?
Right? And she sounded Russian. And apparently they couldn't fix her accent, so they just went with it.
She's going to be Harley Quinn.
She is Harley Quinn.
Oh, she is Harley Quinn.
In that Joker sequel. And it's a musical. So that makes sense. I'll take that. My number 3 is The Batman, because The Batman is amazing. And arguably the greatest Batman film of all time. And there's a lot of investigations going on this year, and he definitely was one of the best. My number 2 is one of the other ones, Glass Onion.
Glass Onion.
It's just dumb. Oh my god. Benoit Blanc might be one of my favorite characters in movies at this point. And like in the first film, he's much more like on the side. He gets to live it up in this one. He's so fantastic. And like, if it wasn't already so stacked, and if I think they would appreciate the joke of it all, Daniel Craig should get nominated for an Oscar for playing this character at some point, because he's just that amazing. It's the same thing as like Johnny Depp getting nominated for Jack Sparrow. Like, this is just a perfectly formed character that has so much going on with it. And then Janelle Monáe, I think should get nominated for Best Supporting Actress for this movie because she was that great. And the whole rest of this ensemble, Edward Norton's a piece of shit. And just so smug. Kate Hudson, amazing. Dave Bautista, Leslie Odom Jr. Like,
Hugh Grant.
Like Hugh Grant just showing up randomly.
Serena Williams or something like that.
The Among Us game?
Yeah. My favorite line was the when Blanc says, "Just so you understand, I'm not Batman." And I'm like, really though? Like, take that scene and then like compare that with the scene with Edward Norton is like sitting there just like pissed off because Blanc
that
with the blood, like, and that happens like the first like 15 minutes.
That was one of the best subversions of a plot I've seen in a movie. Period. Like, that just flipped this movie completely on end, and I'm just like, yes!
Like, this movie is for people that know movie tropes, and it's like, no, I promise you, I have something else to say. Like, it delivers what you think it's going to be in the first 15 minutes, and then says,
nope.
Okay, now let's keep going. And it's like, oh, okay, there's more to this, and there's so much more. And it's on Netflix, like, right now.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be rewatching this very shortly. It is something else. And the music even has, like, Bond tinges. And, like, this giant island, private island, feels like a Bond layer. Ryan Johnson knows what he's doing.
And when you realize like, why the glass onion is a metaphor for something, it's like, damn, this script is smart as hell. Is this like
I can't wait to watch this again, so then I can sit through this whole... Oh, it has to be adapted because it's a sequel.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Which I think is stupid. But if it's a sequel to anything, it's automatically adapted because you're adapting characters from another story.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
A, that's weird. B,
yeah.
I like that. C, it would get nominated for me.
It should, 100%. Ryan Johnson's just so smart as a writer and so fun as a director. I just had a blast with this. And my number one, The Banshees of Inisherin. And I love this movie to pieces, and if you haven't watched it, it's on HBO Max right now. Oh my god. Martin McDonagh, which I loved him at the director's roundtable for Hollywood Reporter being like, oh, to make more films if quicker than 5 to 6 years if it wasn't so lazy.
Nice.
I'm like, telling it like it is. Because this is only like his fourth feature film. Because he's a playwright, primarily. And this feels so intimate because it's in Ireland. It's his first story in Ireland. And get Colin Farrell. God, if it wasn't for Brendan Fraser, I wish that Colin Farrell would win Best Actor for this movie. But Brendan Fraser's coming like a tidal wave for that Oscar. But he's so fantastic in this film. He's so quotable. Because have you seen this?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god!
Ramsey, that's it. That's actually, I think, his number one of the year. I still have to watch it.
I have to refrain from quoting this whole entire damn movie because Colin Farrell is so funny and so endearing and so wonderful, but you see him go on this horrible arc. Because here's the thing: the whole entire movie, basic premise is his best friend doesn't want to be friends with him anymore, Brendan Gleeson. And you find out within like 5 to 10 minutes. Why not?
Okay.
So there's no mystery about it. It's just the human will to not let things go. And this character, Podrick, Colin Farrell's character, not understanding the complexities of human dynamics. Because everybody in town is like, you're not dull. But it's one of those kinds of things like, you kind of are. And we just love him, though. And him not letting this friendship go and not giving up on it. And the escalation that this... Remember, this is a Martin McDonagh film. So if you've seen any of his other movies, you know shit's going to get real at some point and go, poof! It goes there. And the cast is amazing. The two of them are great. Carrie Condon should win Best Supporting Actress for playing Siobhan, Podrick's sister. I loved her to pieces in this film. And Barry Keoghan is the town idiot. And he is absolutely hilarious. And also, like, tragic. And you just, on some level, he's kind of a creep. Because I don't think he really understands how to interact with women.
Yikes.
But, like, on some level, you just kind of feel bad for him because he's abused by his cop dad, and which also, there's so many undertones of themes in this from police and organized religion and stuff like that, just tossing that in there. And the score by Carter Burwell is one of my favorites of the year. This all just comes together, and The Banshees of Inisherin, the title, has multiple reasons and layers to it. And it just all comes together. So this was like a perfect movie to me. And God, one thing happens in this movie that made me so damn sad. Oh, one of the most emotionally impactful scenes in the whole year because of one death scene. Makes me real sad. But I'm going to leave it at that. But those are both of our top 10 lists for 2022. What a year. There's been some films that came out this year that really pissed me off and made me sad because I wanted them to be great. Don't worry, darling.
I wanted to like Nope more. So much more than
I loved Nope a lot more than him. But I also loved Us a lot more than him, too. So
Get Out is like one of the best movies like in the last like 10 years. Like, hands down. It's just... And I love Twilight Zone. So I don't know why... These Twilight Zone episodes that are like movie, like modern.
I think Nope.
Outer Limits.
I think Nope evolved past Twilight Zone into this is a Spielberg movie.
I guess that too.
Which, that's a thing, and marketing goes a long way too, because they did not allude to that at all, which for me, I'm glad they didn't, but for most audiences, they probably should have. Which I think that's why the most recent trailer gave away more than I would have liked them to give away more, but I think they really had to try to get people like, hey, this is what this movie's actually about. But there's definitely like Amsterdam, what a waste. What a waste of ridiculous amount of talent. And like, Empire...
Is that Taylor Swift in that?
Yeah, for like 10 minutes.
Oh, well.
Before she dies.
No, that's
the beginning of the movie.
That's sad.
That's the thing that sets the whole movie off. And I don't feel bad about spoiling that. One, because it's in the first 10 minutes, and two, none of you are going to see it. And then I feel like Babylon fell hard for a lot of people. I still think it was really impressive, but there's just, and from box office perspective, so many of these movies failed miserably at the box office. It makes me really sad. Some of them didn't. Batman did great. Everything Everywhere All at Once, the biggest film in the history of A24. So we got some winners. But thank all of you out there for tuning in year after year to listen to two friends talk about their favorite movies of the year. And thank all of you, as always, for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.
Thanks, guys.